I survived, and, you know, I feel lucky that I survived, really. I had what I would call a normal childhood. My mum and stepdad who brought me up, they brought me up nicely. I didn't think we were rich or I didn't think we were poor, I just thought we were average. But yeah, they're nice people, they're good people. They're honest people. From an early age, I wanted to achieve, and therefore I worked hard at school, etc. when I was younger, to try and, I suppose, attain some success. I went to university. I started up a business, and it was successful. I had a partner, we had 2 children, and then we separated, and I said to my ex-partner, you know, take the house. I didn't want my children to suffer because they'd already lost their dad, lost the life they had. They're now losing their school friends because they're moving to school, etc. Because I'm used to doing things for myself, it's hard for me to then reach out for somebody for help. It's pride. Due to the difficulty of the separation, I didn't feel able to concentrate at work. And then, yeah, I mean, things kind of went from bad to worse, really. Because I had no fixed address, I had no bank account, I had no cash, I had no home, I had nothing. And that was the beginning of the end of my life. I was homeless for 5 years. The first few nights, I was sleeping on the bus, and I didn't actually accept the fact I was homeless, because I was just like, oh, it's like I'm just here, but I'll be back in somewhere else next week. After 2 or 3 weeks, I realized I'm actually homeless. I'm actually homeless. And I remember, you know, the despair, I remember the tears, really. I never thought that would happen to me. Life just became a battle of survival. You know, every day was just about surviving. My kind of idea was to wear a suit and to kind of camouflage myself so I didn't look homeless. It meant that I wasn't an obvious target. People drop change into a homeless guy's bowl, and everybody therefore knows how much money that man has. You're vulnerable. Yeah, I've been robbed a few times. Around the back of Leicester Square, these 2 guys, they just come jump me and got the money. It left me feeling petrified and scared because I'd witnessed what can happen. So then you withdraw yourself from other people. If you've been in a situation which has made you feel alone and isolated, then you know how I felt. I was a failure. Again. Yet again. I started going to centres who kind of specialise in working with client groups who are homeless. So even though I was going there for food and clean clothes and showers, I was also, I'm sure, seeking some kind of connection. They started to say to me, oh, well, there are ways you can do this, you can kind of, there's a road back, if you like. It's hard to claw your way back through the rubble of life back to kind of like normality. It's a slog, it's tough. In modern society, the bigger your bank balance, the bigger your value. I was worthless in society. Everybody has a bank account. Like everybody has a bank, you know, children can have a bank account. Organisations like Crisis and Connections and the Holy Cross were instrumental in me kind of getting back into normal life. They help with temporary accommodation. When I open the door now, I know I'm home. I feel safe, I guess, yeah. Safe. And now I have a son and beautiful daughters. I get to see my mum, I get to see friends now. And I start to do voluntary work at homeless centres. I'm really happy. I'm very, very happy. It's like somebody has really given me a real lifeline. And, you know, I feel blessed, I do. The disparity between the different stages of my life, you know, will always stay with me. you know, in different ways. What I'd like to teach my son is that human beings are intrinsically valuable, you know, whether they have money or no money.